Hello and welcome back to the Nasty Metal Productions channel here at YouTube. And of course, this is Heavy Thrash, the guy who runs this channel. So we are here for another album review. This is an album that was released on July 1st. This is the newest album by German Thrashers Reactory. Definitely part of the still sort of new wave of thrash metal bands. They were formed probably after like 2005. They were formed in 2010. So releasing the Killed by Thrash EP and the demo as well. The Killed by Thrash EP was released in 2013. Then in 2014 they released their debut full-length album titled High on Radiation. And here we are in 2016 with their follow-up album to that one, when this album is titled Heavy. Obviously kind of a nod to the Iron Butterfly album of the same name. Yeah, having the same name to a psychedelic rock album. But this is thrash. So it's definitely close to, you know, the likes of Sodom, Creator, Assassin, Destruction, and so forth. And this is, let me just definitely go right in. While High on Radiation definitely kind of showed that the band was definitely going in a little bit of a sort of taking their, you know, their thrash, but putting a little bit of their own spin on it, due to the track Orbit of Thea, which was practically almost a 8-minute track, and it was just fucking great. Here they don't try to do that. If anything, they try to add more of their twist to it. It's like there's most of the songs either clocking around 4 or 3 minutes. But the only track that clocks in around 5 is Pleasure Seeker, which is just a good track. Definitely good. A lot of different riff and pacing, changes in the track in itself. There is definitely a little bit of a prog-ish sort of thing going on. I think because of the riff changes, there's definitely some weird riffs here and there, kind of giving a bit of a 70s sort of sound, I guess because of the stoner rock stuff. But it's just being mixed in with their brand of thrash metal. And it's just done in very good fashion. And just from the very first track, My Thanatos, Fumigation from Mana, all the way to Eat the Rich. This is just a solid thrasher of an album. Really, each track is just as good as the other. With Anxarthus, kind of had a little trouble saying that, being definitely another really good track as well. This is just the band kind of maturing a bit more. It's like, while the last time, again, really was showing that the band was definitely kind of wanted to take their sort of style of thrash to at least a bit of their own little level. Here, it's definitely progressed more from it, but the only thing is, there isn't a track that ends up trying to beat out Orbit of Thea, which is just one of the best tracks on here. The only thing that this album ends up being a little more better, in a way, it is kind of better than the High on Radiation albums in 2014. Due to one track that was on that album, which was called Metal Invasion, which just seemed like your typical thrash, modern thrash track, because a lot of bands, like starting out, like Fueled by Fire or whatever, doing all this, metal this, metal that, but which is something even Protector kind of fell, to on their latest album that I had reviewed. But here, the only track that comes close to that is Let Me Rage Before I Die, which is the only closest to like Metal Invasion, but it's done a little more classier. It's done a bit more better, and it's just definitely a great track as well off of it. Really, there is no bad track on this album. Everything is just seems very well put together. Everything doesn't seem so forced. It's just everything seems to be, all gelling together. However, let's definitely get to the last track on here, which is Eat the Rich, which of course is a Motorhead cover. And the album that track is off of is this very album, Rock and Roll. they definitely do their own spin on it. I will definitely give it that. They do their own spin on the track. Definitely some of the riffs are not nearly the same. There is definitely, when it comes to the chorus, it really does harken back to, you know, that original version. Just everything is done in their own way, and at first, it kind of took me off guard, in a way. Because it's not really everything's a little composed, a little different. Again, they put their own spin on the track. It's definitely not it's not, you know, in the tradition. It's not really kept to, you know, stick to the original. They didn't stick to the original formula of the track. They definitely put their own spin on it, but it still ends up sounding like the track. Lyrics and everything, guitar solos can be a little similar, but yet it still doesn't feel, you know, forced or anything. Will I say that it beats the original? No way. That their version, you know, comes close to beating the original version. But I will give them, you know, I respect them, and I admire the fact that they wanted to kind of give their own spin on the track. But I kind of almost feel that it shouldn't been placed at the end of the album. If anything, this track really shouldn't have been the version, you know, the end of the album. It should have been somewhere maybe in between, I guess, or it should have been left as like a B-side to some single. It's not really the best track off of here, but I admire the fact that they went out and covered the Eat the Rich track off of Motorhead's, you know, Rock and Roll. So with that said, what is my score for this album? Simple. 8.1 out of 10. It's definitely a good album. I will definitely say it's a tad bit better than High on Radiation. It beats, again, like I'm saying, it beats it by an inch, but it's not nearly as good. Maybe the fact is, it's an album I may have to listen to quite a bit more times before it really kind of gets on me. Other than that, it's a very well put together thrash metal album. It definitely does have, you know, the oomph to it. This is definitely thrash metal in the modern day, done very maturely, and it actually can be even better than most actual, you know, these new wave thrashers in some ways. As my Reactory could be definitely one of the best thrash metal bands to come out of Germany, or even best bands that come out in, you know, in recent times. Just a good band all around, and they're definitely showing their maturity. They're definitely growing within their and just their writing as well, adding, you know, some of that sci-fi sort of twist to their lyrics and such. Overall, good album. If you're a fan of thrash metal, or a fan, or even like, let's say, you know, a band such as Sodom or Crater, or you know, bands like, or Assassin, this is definitely an album to check out. I definitely recommend this album. So, until then, this is Heavy Thrasher saying I'm out. I'll see you later.